All right, we got a bunch of stuff here. Things like wideband, teardrop exit exhaust, catch can, coolant reservoir, also our hose for our catch can, and the electric fan relay. Bunch of stuff that we need to get done to get the brown Nugget actually running and driving on the road, fully ready to go. The exhaust is going to be the main part that we get done, the bulk of the video, but also the electric fans so that we can keep our truck cool and running good while we are cruising down the road. I also have some exhaust wrap coming. It's just not here just yet. The exhaust is the main concern that I have. We're gonna get started on that right now. I hope you guys are excited, because I know I am, because I'm ready to drive this puppy. Let's go. Hey, look at you guys there. We're gonna start with the fan relay. As you guys saw in a previous video, I think it was on the Will It Ever Run Again video, I did go ahead and install this aftermarket coolant temperature sensor. I just used an adapter and the one that came with the kit to install the fan relay, so that's where we're going to get our temperature from. We need power, we need ground, and we'll have our control wire that does go to our fan. So I know that I'm going to be mounting my coolant reservoir right here. It's going to help keep my dangly little ECU in place. So once that's mounted there, and I think I have my idea for the catch can on the back wall. Fan relay, I may just move up front up here near the battery. This is for our catch can. Oh boy. Well, I guess we can just run AN lines. I mean, I've got AN fittings and I have AN line. I'll need that. Oh, well. I mean, that's kind of cool, because I mean, the catch can will look pretty dope. As long as I mount this correctly the way I'm wanting to, I think we'll be just fine. PCV valve is on this side, and not gonna need that anymore. We're gonna pull the PCV valve and figure out if we can drill and tap potentially to fit an AN fitting that goes right on the side of the valve cover. Ugh, got her. We got ourselves a knotter. Might just have to tap it. We'll see. All right, so we got our AN fitting on over there on that side. Biggest thing I need to do now is get the one on for this side. It's underneath this bracket. It's just basically a ventilation port that comes out of this side of the valve cover. I think we have pretty easy access to it. I guess we're about to find out together, Junior. This is uncharted territory. I just want to kind of move it out the way. This is our PCV ventilation portion that comes out of the valve cover on this side. I'm not entirely sure how it's held in. I'm gonna say it's probably either threaded in or I don't know. I guess we'll find out. If it does unscrew, I can take the valve cover off and basically just drill and tap. And hopefully we have enough room to clear the injectors and the coil packs. We'll cross that bridge here in just a second. All I'm gonna do is remove this coil bracket and just get it out of the way for a second. Dang it, this is gonna be great. Well, it moved. I just took a chance here. Oh boy. I'm curious if it is pressed in there though. That's my real question. I think it is. How about that, boys? I'm gonna pull this valve cover off. I'm going to check and make sure that it's possible, but I'm probably gonna drill and tap it and run this AN fitting in, and then we'll run a right angle one. We can run it this way, but that's just me. Wow, I was thinking like, oh, this would be perfect. Man, I hate making this wall. Right underneath the fuel rail, or come out and run over the other top. It's gonna look really nice. I'm gonna drill it out and make sure that it's this exact diameter, but I'm a little bit nervous about this lip here. Oh boy, I did it. Do I recommend it doing this way? I guess I'll let you know after everything's put together. We'll see. I think I can tap this at this point. It's aluminum, so it's gonna tap pretty easily. We are not gonna talk about it. Okay? Okay. I've come to the conclusion this is not a good idea. Let's see how far we made it that time. Okay, here we go. We got Teflon. We got our hole tapped, and we're gonna get it going. I gotta get it to find the threads because we did have to cut some of this off. We just didn't want all that length. You got me. Am I using a massive ratchet to get this done? It makes it easy because I can keep constant pressure on it. And just keep turning. All this for a stupid catch can. I really want these to be tight.
Do you really want to hurt me?
Ow!
Do you really want to make me cry?
Stay alive, stay alive. Oh, 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 oh.
Lord Farquaad, he huffed and he puffed and he signed an eviction notice. Back on track.
I know what the heck is happening. I've not watched that movie at all. Literally 0 times in the last, like, probably 10 years. I got to keep it going. This is depressing. That is perfect. I just need to make sure that now my side of the AM fitting will fit on there. Now go figure out if it's a 90, a 45, or a straight. I think it's gonna be the 90. We got our first line made for this side. It is running straight out of here and running straight back. I'm about to make the other line for the other side. Just trying to come up with a good solution for where it's going to go, because we have to take in mind that we're gonna have our exhaust coming through here. I'm back. Keep on going. Booey. Hold it. Hold it with these. Like that in with these. Yeah. Oh yeah, keep going. Keep it going. You're not done yet. It's getting tight. Kinda wrap around it like a coiled snake. Yeah, King Cobra. Oh, baby. I came back with 0 tools. All right, so we went ahead and got this piece tacked together. It looks really, really good. I didn't do it exactly in line with the body because it was gonna be hard with that angle that goes down. So I like the way that it does fit together here. Comes across, and I cut this piece here. If you look, this little like sliver, I cut that actually off of our 90 degree. So I wound up reusing that to make the angle work for this one. But yeah, so I'm gonna get this completely welded back up. We're gonna exhaust wrap it, and then we'll be able to shoot flames out the side, because guess what? I got a 2-step controller. No. Not the best welds ever, but you look down like through here, it honestly worked out pretty good.
All right, so let's go over a checklist of everything that we know we need to get done for this thing to be road ready. The main thing that I do know we need to do is run our electric fan relay. That's what I'm going to be working on next. Then we need to fill it with coolant because currently it has 0 in it. We need to tighten our AN fittings on the catch can. We also need to swap out the PCV fitting, which I'll show you now. Here's the grommet. This is the AN fitting that I got. It's supposed to be a direct fit for an LS PCV valve. I'm currently running this. It's threaded and it has a little O-ring, but I don't think that it would seal for PCV very well. So I'm gonna remove this one and put this other one in here. Hopefully we run into 0, and I mean 0 issues. I've already found an issue. All right, gonna get this loosened and gonna get that swapped out. Then after fixing this one, tightening those AN lines will be to exhaust wrap our turbo outlet. And basically all I gotta do at this point is exhaust wrap it, tie up the transcooler in a nice comfortable spot that it's not gonna go moving or the lines aren't gonna drag the ground, and then wire up our 2-step. And then the last thing that I wanna do before the end of the video, as long as we have time, is wire up our wideband. This has been a very, very long explanation for very few amount of things. Basically, tighten up the catch can, replace this with a PCV fitting, exhaust wrap, last thing we do. Run our electric fan relay and put coolant in it, tie up the transcooler, cut the rest of the exhaust off, good to go. It's not even thread. All right, wanna play games? Let's play games! Yeah. Let's play games, love. All right, I like it like this. And we're just gonna shove it right in there. Come in. I was about to start pushing even harder. Let's verify. That's beautiful. All right, we're perfect. I'm talking a lot more in this clip, Blake. I need to plug this off here. Plug this one off here. Those are last thing for the PCV system or the setup. And then I'm gonna go ahead, shift gears, start wiring up this fan relay. Basically, I have 2 wires coming off of each fan. I've got a blue wire and a black wire. Blue wire is basically signal from my relay. Black wire is ground. It's basically power coming from my relay. Black is still gonna be ground. So what I'm gonna do, I have seen a lot of people actually that cut these all up. I don't really want to do that, but basically all I'm going to be doing is running a flat blade female on these in. I'm gonna tie them together, solder them together, and run both of them to 1 ground, and then both signal will come together on 1 wire and run to my relay. The other thing that the relay is going to need is power. It doesn't need ground because it's getting its ground from the fans. It needs a ignition, 12 volt coming from ignition, and it needs to see our signal from our coolant temperature sensor. So the good news is all of this is very, very, very easy to find, very easy to wire up. The thing that'll probably take the longest is just soldering our connections together for these pieces. Yep, super, super easy, and I'll show you everything. Here we go. Got my relay here. Most of you know how a relay works. My red wire here, I have already put a fuse in. It's just a regular inline fuse. They do give you a different style fuse if you like to use that, but for us, what we're gonna be using is this inline. They work pretty good. Next up, we do have on, what is it, number 85? 85 is the black wire here. Don't ask me why they put this little, I think this is just a ground loop that you can just run to a ground. I don't really like that. We're just gonna snip it and solder it together and heat shrink it. This is actually what's going to go to my coolant temperature sensor that I have already mounted up on the block. Then we have our blue wire here. This is what we're gonna split off to our fans. It's gonna go to both fans, so I'm gonna come off of this. Hopefully the way I mount this, I have plenty of wire. That way I can just create one Y that splits off to both fans, and then both fans will also have black connector that I'm gonna plug into, and that will split back into one wire and go to a ground. And then last, the white wire is for our 12 volt ignition power. We just need to make sure that whatever this is hooked to
It gets 12 volts when the key's on and 0 voltage when the key is off. Super, super simple setup. Most of you guys obviously know how these are wired up, but I'm going to show you exactly what I hooked mine to, just so that you have a good reference point if you are working with a very similar setup on an LS that I am. One thing to note, I unfortunately am all out of heat shrink. So I was going to solder these, and I definitely would advise soldering, but unfortunately I do not have time to go out to the parts store and grab heat shrink. So I'm just going to use these. These, if you guys are aware, I've used them. I use them on the fuel pump. I use them in a lot of other places. It's a crimp, but the edges heat up like a heat shrink and block out any moisture. So that's what we're going to use, because they work really, really good and they hold a really strong connection. And again, I do absolutely 100% recommend using heat shrink if you've got it, but I unfortunately don't. So we're going with this. Oh yeah, beautiful. It gives us a really, really, really nice area to crimp to, just like this. I love, these are made by OTC, by the way, and they are my all-time favorite crimp tools. This just provides such a phenomenal crimp. Boom, get that done. I'll show you guys the finished product. Good, good, good crimp. Okay, and I definitely would recommend using a heat gun, not a torch. But I'm not really paying that much attention to all that, and you probably aren't either. Boom, blocks out all the moisture really, really well. Heats up all around it. You just love it. You love to see it. It is now nice and seal proof, baby. That's definitely not gonna reach all the way to my temp sensor. On this one, I don't have to really mess with this, and I don't have to mess with this. So I am going to create a T. I will probably shorten all three of these up as long as the white one reaches. So really just the black one was the only thing I really needed to mess with. Currently, I'm going to see if I can find some blue wire and some black wire so that we can create our T's that we want to run to each fan connection. Back on this real quick. Basically, since I made my ground wire so short, I am going to go ahead and mount those first. All right, I had a lot that I was trying to do all at one time, and unfortunately I did not get to film most of it because I don't even know where the heck I put my tripod. So anyways, here's where I mounted my relay. It's over here right beside the radiator itself. I looped this, the power wire coming from the battery. I just looped it around this. I don't even know what this technically was, but it's an option because it closed off on mine. But long story short, it just created me a little standoff for my inline fuse, and ran that to the battery. The blue wire that you see going down below the radiator goes to both of my connectors for each fan. I've got the other connector coming from the other side over here, and I just zip tied them together, and then the white wire behind it, it goes down to the bracket, and I just grounded it there. So the blue wire is coming up, I teed it off and put them into these connectors here. So hopefully everything should hold, be nice and tight. The black wire, I have that going up around my battery, which it's the white wire that I have here is about to follow that same path. It goes around the battery into this fender well. It comes back out, follows the wiring harness, follows it up to here. I'm going to put a connector on the end of it right here and tie it right into that. So it will go right here and go right in. So the last wire that we need to take care of, I just tested to make sure that we found it. I can put this cover back on here because none of those were actually had a 12-volt reference when the ignition was on. But basically, since I deleted my AC system, this light green wire here, I'm not going to be using anymore, and it does get 12 volts when the ignition is on and 0 volts when the ignition is off. So I'm going to snip this connector off and tie it in. I'm probably just going to leave that one there snipped off and tie it into my white wire that comes from my relay, and that will be my 12-volt ignition power. So yep, I'm very excited because that is the last step that I really need to do so that I can fill it up with coolant and let it run for a while and get good and hot and make sure those fans kick on.
Found these two plugs. One went right here. I just kind of got it loosely over this port. This one here is going to go over this one. Just going to get it fitted over this. Nice and smooth. And now this one's plugged off. This one's plugged off. And the PCV system is all ran to the catch can. Cannot forget our petcock valve, the drain for the catch can. This is a really cool system here because it's very similar to a banjo bolt actually, but it will allow us to be able to drain the oil out of the catch can. You guys probably get tired of seeing them, but I love these little adjustables. It's a little stubby, and I just like to use them on everything. There it is. Yeah. Throw them right at me. Hot.
Drop it down to the floor. Out the box Chevy.
I just kind of really want to spit some flames right now. We're very close. All we have left to do, just for the record, is wire up the two-step, which we're super close to being able to do, and then finish tying up the wideband, and we're spitting flames. Go right on ahead, my boy. The main thing is going to be to mount this two-step controller in a way that I can still see my adjustments on here. It is set at 5,000. We're going to turn that down to about 3,500 just for the time being. I was thinking maybe like 4 grand at least. That might be like the highest I can go. I'm gonna mount it probably just like so. Make sure there's nothing behind here. Run 2 little small bolts to hold it in place. I'm actually running the white wire with a blue tracer because in the good old-fashioned instructions, it says that's the one side that we can wire to the switch, so we can two-step when we want to instead of when this thing goes, hey man, let me two-step with you. We're gonna do it when we want to. Alright, run the red wire in next. And move the purple and the black and the green out of the way. Run this one in next.
Do that two-step.
Alright. Rick, bink. Is that enough? It is. I had to crimp it real hard. Real hard. I'm gonna crimp it one more time near it. Okay, we're just making sure that we got that thing fully crimped. Gonna heat it up. Burn this solder all around this thing. Then we're gonna hook a little circle connection for our power. And then these two would just be like the 5-volt reference and the data logger reference. So we ain't really got to worry about them. We're just going to kind of tuck them somewhere. But yeah, just run power, run ground, hook our wideband in, we're going to be good to go. Good to go.
Just like this. Hold that thing. Do that thing, little body, make me roll. If your mama gave it to you, baby girl, let it show.
Multiple things got done in today's video. We're gonna catch you up super fast. I know you guys have been watching the video, but we're just gonna go over a checklist of everything that we got done. Number 1, we wired up our fan relay. That was huge because obviously we didn't want to overheat. So we got that wired up. We hooked up the catch can. Now, some of you guys, if you aren't super familiar with how catch cans work, the way that this one is hooked in, we did it completely venting to atmosphere. So both sides are going to the catch can to vent into atmosphere, and then we just plugged off the other PCV ports. So the way that I did run it was, it's not necessarily a bad way. It just means that it's kind of more of a dirty catch can, but you're just gonna see a little bit of smoke here, there, and ultimately, when we're under load or when we're boosting, it's going to all be pushing it out to the catch can, which is kind of what I wanted. Got that hooked up, set up. Finished our exhaust outlet, which was a big win. As you can see, I've only exhaust wrapped this small portion. I am going to go back and exhaust wrap the rest, but because we needed to weld on a bung for the O2 sensor, I didn't actually finish exhaust wrapping the rest of it, and it's gotten late. That is going to be something we probably do behind the scenes, so if you guys see the engine bay and it's already wrapped, that's why. So, and then going forward, whatever else we got finished, we got the Coolant Reservoir loaded, or hooked in. The wideband is now installed. The two-step controller is actually installed so it can spit massive flames. It's all been a great day. And honestly, one of the biggest wins of the day, it was Blake's first time at the chiropractor, and that's great because it changed his life. Comment if you enjoy the chiropractor, because Blake, he's gonna go back. Comment if you guys enjoy golf content, because we're thinking about maybe we go film some content playing golf, if you guys like that. Today's verse of scripture is coming out of Ephesians 2:10, and it says, "For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus, for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them." I think this is just a really good verse of scripture. It doesn't necessarily pertain to the build, but I think it's so important that we realize why we're here. You know, God created us to be, that he created us in his image, but he also created us to do the good works that Jesus has set out before us and already planned for us to do beforehand, you know. So we should walk in those good works every single day and enjoy our faith, and also just trying to do what's right for other people, those around us, and all that. In my years of, I guess we'll call it service, years of being a Christian, I've definitely come across multiple times where I needed to put my will aside and just do what was right for God in the moment. And you know, even if it takes a little bit more time out of your day, or it takes a little bit of money, or whatever the case may be, understanding that you are here to serve a purpose and to show the love of Jesus Christ, I think that's just so important. And so that verse of scripture does speak to me a lot. So that was Ephesians 2:10. But anyways, we'll catch you guys on the next one.